Gati.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jaup Zenuni. I am Chief of Academic Department in Foreign Languages Center in the Academy of the Armed Forces of Albania. And I'm here today to have a short presentation about ICT for English language teaching in military context in the Foreign Languages Center of the Albanian Armed Forces Academy. In my short presentation, I'm going to speak about these topics: research contributions on the link between ICT and language teaching, how is the curriculum of English language teaching in Foreign Languages Center impacted by ICT, what is the impact of ICT on teaching methods, how is ICT used to prepare fresh teaching materials, and finally some conclusions. Let's start with the first topic. Research contributions on the link between ICT and language teaching. The era of development of ICT coincided with the stage when the communicative competence was gaining ground in the applied linguistics. Foreign language education, for its own features, considered ICT as a close ally in the path of profound changes that theories of language competence required in the foreign language education. Since the beginning of this close relationship between ICT and language teaching and learning, different authors like Cuban, Gergel and Masbit, Kerr, Jagger and Lokman, etc., began to focus their research on it and on its outcomes. It should also be underlined that the number of scholars engaged in research on the impact of ICT on language education increased mainly after 2000. The entire corpus of research is classified in different ways. There are authors like Ramprasad who think that there are two groups of studies, those which are quantitative researches and qualitative researches. Considering Ismanoglu's classification and the research work after him, the studies conducted to date may be grouped as follows. Those that deal with ICT in language instruction with a group of authors listed here, studies which cover attitudes and beliefs towards the use of ICT in language teaching, treated by another group of scholars, which are listed here, and research on curriculum innovation and ICT integration by another group of researchers like Kirk and MacDonald, Kaw, Alev, Blasquez, etc. A great contribution in this area is UNESCO's publication in 2005 integrating ICTs into the curriculum, analytical catalog of key publications. And finally, studies dealing with materials development. Among them, we can mention scholars like Larsen, Freeman, Bashal, Mozaffari and Ray, etc. Now let's stop a little bit on the second topic. How is the curriculum of English language teaching in Foreign Languages Center impacted by ICTs? Since 2005, FLC is working with a new intended curriculum to say Stanag 6001 descriptor. This curriculum is based on communicative competence, so the way it is designed and its requirements make the use of ICT a necessity. In the implemented curriculum, the focus is to detail the intended curriculum into teaching activities which increasingly include the use of ICTs. The teaching programs are revised every academic year, and one of the main purposes is to integrate more intensely the use of ICTs. The inclusion of ICTs in the programs aims at supporting learner-centered and self-directed learning, producing a creative learning environment, assisting learners in accessing digital information efficiently and effectively, promoting collaborative learning in a distant learning environment, offering more opportunities to develop critical thinking skills, improving teaching and learning quality, and supporting teaching by facilitating access to course content. The use of ICTs has turned into an organic part of teaching programs which guide the daily work of teachers and learners in and out of class. Components of ICT like digital media, internet and wireless means of communication are topic related in teaching programs and are mandatory to the teachers. One of the first steps that we made for the implementation of the new intended curriculum was teachers' training to increase their ICT literacy through PEP and PFP programs. The whole teaching staff was trained on site to acquire the necessary ICT literacy and some teaching techniques based on ICT. During these training sessions, facilitators focused on how to organize video activities, how to retrieve materials from internet and simplify them for the appropriate level of learners, how to prepare teaching materials using ICT, and how to stimulate them use self-access center. At the same time, PEP and PFP equipped Foreign Languages Center with different ICT devices. Now, let's talk a little bit about what is the impact of ICT on teaching methods. Transformation of teaching methods from teacher-centered to student-centered was a process that could not be enthroned successfully by the use of a magic stick. Of course, there were a number of influencing factors, both non-manipulative and manipulative. They were encountered during this process. Nowadays, the on-site teacher training, regularly organized in Foreign Languages Center, focuses on how to use active teaching methods and techniques where the use of ICT is the pillar. The role of the teacher, due to this major change, especially in levels 3232 and 3333, is that of a facilitator. If at the beginning of this process, teachers used ICTs as a decorator of the lesson, nowadays the situation is different. Teachers think ahead of the activities they are going to construct based on ICTs and how to integrate these activities with the topic planned in the teaching programs. The use of a certain media like BBC, CNN, Deutsche Welle, NATO Edios, Voice of America, etc., intends not only to listen to an authentic language source to get information on a certain topic related to the teaching program, but also to plan an activity on it, which might be speaking, or writing, or listening. The same can be said for the use of internet, YouTube, Google, and other sources. Some of the teaching methods that involve ICT are briefings, discussions, group work, pair work, combination of online work at home with offline work in class, writing essays, descriptions, reports based on an ICT component, etc. What is the impact of ICT on the teaching methods? Teachers are also thinking of how to introduce social media and 3G and 4G technologies in teaching process. In a nutshell, teaching methods and techniques have been greatly enriched in Foreign Languages Center thanks to the use of ICT. Now, a few words about how is ICT used to prepare fresh teaching materials. ICTs are a great source for the design of teaching materials in Foreign Languages Center. The ICT components available are used for teaching benefits according to the teaching programs. Material development team has created separate files for each language skill with materials and exercises designed for the use of ICT. These files contain different links that learners can use independently out of class. These files are also refreshed and updated constantly every year. Based on the teaching programs, the teachers have created their individual portfolios with ICT-based materials, especially for English classes of supplementary materials. Every English teacher in a Foreign Languages Center has created files with teaching materials for each language skill. Most of these materials are downloaded from internet or are prepared having internet materials as a reference. Books like Improve Your Listening or Keys for Writing, written by FLC teachers as supplementary materials for learners in listening and writing skills, are also ICT-based work. Now, some conclusions. ICT use has had its own influence on the curriculum, teaching methods, and teaching materials in FLC. It created a new teaching and learning environment that enhances active language learning. However, there is still a lot to improve in order to integrate technology in our teaching. ICT is having an unprecedented progress, so the teachers have to keep abreast with this progress. ICT requires a refocused approach to teaching, which will propel us a long way to making technology and the internet a more rewarding partner in the teaching and learning process. That is all I wanted to present to you. Thank you very much for your attention.